What's up, guys? My name is Skill87, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing Dead Space 2 for the Xbox 360. Alright, so, wow, this game was pretty much everything I expected and more. Excellent, excellent sequel. Visceral Games, you guys got this series on lock, alright? I'm going to give you guys a little quick rundown and a little brief history lesson, or whatever you want to call it. If you are into games like Resident Evil 4 and 5, and you're a little upset or a little annoyed by the fact that your control of the character is very limited, and the fact that it's Resident Evil and the game isn't even all that scary because they got rid of the whole zombies and they started using the whole the plague shit, whatever we want to call them things. But Resident Evil 4 and 5 were great games. I really enjoyed, especially Resident Evil 5. You know, me and Will, we played the shit out of that game. But it was tedious because you couldn't move while aiming. You couldn't reload without stopping, stand still and fucking reload. And your control of the camera was very limited. On top of that, the game just wasn't scary. Alright? Dead Space 1 and 2, especially Dead Space 2, in terms of control, ambiance, feel, is crazy. Crazy. So, with Dead Space 1, when that game came out, it was like at first people like doubted the game, and I was one of the people that doubted the game, and then I played it like a year later, and I instantly became like a fan because it took everything we loved about 4 and 5 Resident Evil, and then got rid of everything we hated, and then introduced new shit, right, with the aliens. You know, not only in Dead Space 1 and 2 can you move while reloading, you can aim over the shoulder and still move around. Then the melee system is just one button. It isn't hold this button, hold that button. No. One button is to stomp, one button is to punch. It's great. It was effective. It shook your screen. It was great when the enemies were dead on the floor and you would stomp their bodies and you would get that crazy flesh sounding effect, and it was just crazy. Now, there were some problems with Dead Space 1, like too many tedious puzzles. The zero gravity moments were really boring, and sometimes like all the other weapons felt like they were almost in a sense useless. You can go through the entire game, even on the hardest difficulty, with the fucking plasma cutter fully powered up. All that has been addressed. You know, Isaac being all silent and shit, being a boring main character, and awesome at the same time because he has a cool suit, was rectified. Dead Space 2 is an honest, true sequel. This is how you do sequels. You take everything good about, part 1, you improve on it, take everything that you hated about part 1, kind of get pretty much rid of it. A lot of game developers don't seem to understand this concept. They try to fix what was broken, and they just fuck it up even more. No, get rid of what was broken and improve what we actually liked, and then add on from there. That's what Dead Space 2 is. Dead Space 2 plays pretty much just like Dead Space 1, but there's lots of improvements to the point where it feels like a brand new experience, and it's just mind-blowing. Dead Space 2, I'll say it right now, before this review is even over, is a must-play, period. If you are a fan of the series, buy this shit. If you're curious or you just want to play the game, rent this shit. If you're looking for a game to like blow your fucking mind, play this shit. You owe it to yourself as a gamer to play Dead Space 1 and 2. Alright? Excellent, excellent game. Let's talk about the story, the graphics, the controls, the sound effects, the multiplayer, and my final score. The story is actually pretty simple. There's an alien fucking outbreak going on. Alright? Some people are praising this fucking outbreak. There are people that are studying this shit, making more aliens. You get caught up in the mix in part 1 when you go to an SOS signal on the Ishimura. Shit gets fucked up. You survive the alien outbreak. Everyone's dead. Isaac, it's years later. He's in a fucking insane asylum. The aliens are back, and he's the only one that can stop this shit. Little does he know that as the years have progressed from Dead Space 1 to 2, he partook in some crazy fucking shit, and now he's here to rectify this crazy shit while fighting his own conscience about his lost girlfriend and whatever. I won't talk too much about it. It's pretty simple, and at the same time it's kind of confusing. Not the reason you're going to play Dead Space. I'm telling you right now, the story is not the reason you're playing this game. You're playing this game because of the amazing gameplay. So, let's talk about the graphics. Dead Space 1 and 2 sport some very sexy graphics. Now, they're not, in terms of multi-platform graphics, they're not like on par with games like Assassin's Creed 2, where it was like, holy shit, this is a multi-platform game. I feel like I'm playing a PS3 exclusive. No, but they're pretty damn close. Dead Space 1 and 2 both sport a nice graphics engine and a beautiful physics engine. All right? With Dead Space 1 and 2 bring to the table, unlike Resident Evil 4 and 5, is the whole, you have to dismember enemies. You're not using typical guns like a pistol and a rifle and a shotty and whatnot. Your weapons are tools. They shoot beams of energy. They shoot nails. They shoot saws and shit. You're an engineer. So the game really works with that. And in the enemies, they come at you, you shoot them in the head, their head comes off, and they still moving at you and shit. So you gotta like dismember the arms and legs so they fall, and they still come at you. It's crazy. That really builds the tension up. It freaks you out. And that's really, really like something that's needed in a horror game, something that's been lacking with horror games all these years. Dead Space 1 and 2 bring to the table. Yeah, you got these tools of mass destruction, but it's kind of freaky when you shoot a monster in the head and he still come at you and shit. So you take his arms off and he's still coming at you. You're going, what the fuck? So you take his legs off and he's still coming at you. That's crazy. All right, the physics engine is beautiful. Wherever you shoot them in the leg, that's the part that comes off. It isn't like it's pre-scripted where you shoot him in the foot, but no, you shoot him in the ankle, but then the foot come off. No, you shoot him in the foot come off. You shoot him in the leg come off, and you shoot him in the arm or the ankle or the forearm, and that come off. It's nice. It's beautiful. The physics engine and graphics, great. All right, they're not fucking mind-boggling graphics, but damn it, they're nice. And the physics engine, beautiful. So the graphics and physics, for me, are going to get the 2 thumbs up. Let's talk about the sound effects. The sound effects have a really nice feel. There's like a lot of ambiance. The guns sound intimidating. The enemies sound intimidating. Isaac is a character. The characters Isaac meets. The overall musical score to the game is just spot on. So that's really all I got to say about that. Isaac's voice actor is really like awesome. You feel for this guy when Isaac gets killed in the cutscene or he's talking, you feel for him. The voice acting is on point. You really like, you can feel like this guy is emotional, he's disturbed, he's scared, and he's brave, he's a badass, and he's a pussy all at the same time, and all in one character. So the sound effects are just gonna get the passing score. They're not fucking amazing. The sound effects are not amazing, but they do get the job done. So you're gonna get the passing score from me. Excuse me. Still a little fucked up. The controls. The controls are wonderful. Wonderful. You have full control of the camera. The controls are very responsive. It plays like 4 and 5, but you can run and you can move around, run, reload, and shoot while you're doing the move around and shit. So you feel like you have 100% control of Isaac, which is great. So this game is a horror game. It's going to freak you out, but the controls like an action game, so you never feel like you are like helpless in a sense. You feel like, yeah, it's a horror game, but unlike traditional horror games where your control is very limited, in Dead Space 1 and 2, you are this walking fucking tank. You are there to kick some ass. And Visceral Games made sure the player felt like he can dominate his enemies with precise controls and shit. So the controls for this style of game and this genre are almost perfect. Literally, I kid you not. Play the Dead Space 2 demo. You're going to feel like, oh my god, for a horror game, these controls are fucking wonderful. So the controls, 2 thumbs up for me. What am I missing? Graphics, sound, blah. Multiplayer. Not going to talk much about multiplayer. I played it for a day. I must say, it feels really tacked on. It's boring. You're not going to buy this game or rent it for multiplayer. It's really shitty. Aliens versus humans. Obviously, the humans have a huge, stupid disadvantage over the aliens. The 4 aliens you get to play as all basically play the same. All 4 fucking suck. The aliens are all a bunch of Isaac clones with the same exact voice actor, same exact character model. They all look retarded. It's really lame. And then you got all these weird sound effects in the multiplayer. That's all this random screaming, and it's really multiplayer. Dead Space 2 was really tacked on. It's just one of those situations where, you know, we're coming to an age where if a game doesn't have multiplayer, some sites tend to give a game a lower score. Like, I've seen that shit. Like, games that don't even need multiplayer, the fucking, like, I've seen sites where like, oh, we're gonna give this game a -1 because there's no multiplayer aspect. Really? No. Dead Space 2 did not need multiplayer. It was tacked on. It's bullshit. It sucks. It's laggy. It's boring. Don't even bother. I feel like I'm missing something. Control sound. Listen, whatever I'm forgetting, I'm about to cover it up in this little ending rant. Dead Space 1 and 2 are must play, own, the whole shebang and bang. You have to play this series, alright? And when you beat the game, when you beat Dead Space 1 and you beat Dead Space 2, you're going to get a little chuckle smile, like, oh, that's what's up. I like the ending for Dead Space 2. They really paid tribute to Part 1. Isaac is a character. He's going to grow on you, because in Dead Space 1, he was like more of the silent protagonist, like Link from Zelda. And, you know, he got hit. He was like, and shit. But he never really talked. He talked like once in a blue moon. And Dead Space 2, he talks a lot. There's an actual character to him now. The people you meet in Dead Space 2 are going to freak you the fuck out. I mean, you're not going to meet many people. The few people that you do meet, you'll be like, wow, these are memorable characters. In terms of guns, you got a lot of really, you know, non-traditional guns. You got a gun that shoots a javelin. You got a gun that shoots a spinning blade. You got a gun that shoots grenades. You got the flamethrower. You get the typical flamethrower. You get the pulse rifle. You got some traditional weapons, and then some weapons that really only make sense in a Dead Space world. So it's not like you're gonna be running around with a shotty. No, there ain't no shotgun in this game. No rocket launcher. None of that. You got a gravity gun, for Christ's sake. In terms of level design and pacing, they got rid of all the tedious zero gravity shit. They got rid of all the tedious puzzles. There's a couple puzzles, real quick, real simple. There's some zero gravity sequences, but they're more action oriented this time around. You're actually just fighting. Yeah, you're doing a lot of fighting in the zero gravity sequences, and it's cool now. Now you can press L3 to just jump in the middle of the air and float around and shit at your own leisure. That's real fun. So they got rid of everything that sucked about Dead Space 1 and rectified it. So Dead Space 2 is the ultimate sequel. Everything you hate about Dead Space 1 has been rectified in 2. They added on, Dead Space 2 is an action-packed thrill ride. The pacing, the level design, everything basically, besides the multiplayer, which is bullshit, is wonderful. So this game also took me 9 hours to beat. I'm not sure I mentioned that earlier. 9 hours to beat. I really want to play through it again. Because this is just, it's wonderful. You beat the game, you unlock more suits. There's DLC already available for the game. I actually recommend do not buy them. Do not buy them. Because the last suit you get on your first playthrough is more powerful than every downloadable content suit. Then you go through New Game Plus, where you get to carry your shit over and play on any different mode, but you get to carry your shit over and you get new costumes that are 10 times as powerful. Then there's a hardcore mode. It's excellent. Wow. Dead Space 2 is like really, I can talk about this game for hours with people. I've been convincing people on Xbox Live to get this game. People have been asking me on YouTube and PSN about it. I just tell people, just buy the fucking game. Don't even wait for my review. Just buy it. So final score for Dead Space 2. When it comes down to the action horror series, in terms of control, level design, the whole shebang bang, minus the multiplayer, in all honesty, when it comes to this game, when it comes to this series and this genre, this game is almost perfect. Get rid of the multiplayer. It doesn't need it. Dead Space 2 for the Xbox 360, PC, and PS3 gets a big, fat fucking 9.5. This is our first AAA game of 2011. Let's see what else we have in store. You know, come February, we got the Killzone 3. That's going to be an obvious AAA. Let's see what happens with Bulletstorm. Let's see what happens with Crysis 2. So, yeah. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget to thumbs up, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and catch you guys next video. Peace.